By the end of The Wheel of Time Season 3, Elayne Trakand stands on the edge of destiny. She's not just a princess or a powerful channeler anymore. She's a woman who stared down the Forsaken, held her ground in a collapsing world, and tasted firsthand the war the Shadow is unleashing. But even as she steps out of the chaos of Tanchico, the real question is, what now? What's next for the Daughter-Heir of Andor? Now, so much more than just her title. The short answer, a storm is coming, and she's walking straight into it. Warning, heavy spoilers ahead from the books and show. Please take care. In the Season 3 finale, we last see her alongside Thom Merrilin, Mat, and Nynaeve after blasting Jeaine Carradine with balefire in Tanchico. She's just prevented a catastrophe, one that could have seen the Seanchan collar used as a weapon against her people. She held her own in a city swarming with Black Ajah, Forsaken like Moghedien whispering in the shadows, and balefire threats strong enough to rewrite the pattern. It wasn't luck that kept her alive. It was her resolve, her intelligence, and her strength in the one power that mattered. Because Elayne's next steps will not be ones of retreat. The danger hasn't passed. It's just changed shape. The story now turns toward Caemlyn. After all the years of turmoil, Elayne is finally being drawn homeward, and not just because of her bloodline. The wheel has made her more than the Daughter-Heir of Andor. She's become a lioness, molded by war and prophecy. If you look closely, her path mirrors Rand's own, pulled in 1,000 directions by politics, magic, and fate, but never forgetting who she is or what she must become. And what she must become is queen. The throne of Andor waits for her. The city stands at a tipping point, still reeling from the reign of her mother, Moghedien, and still uncertain about the White Tower's influence. Many houses have been slow to support her because of her time with the Aes Sedai and the chaos surrounding the tower. But things are different now. Elayne is no longer just a student of the White Tower or a companion to Egwene. She's a war-hardened woman who faced Forsaken, resisted the seductive pull of magical artifacts, and protected her people, even when it meant risking her life. Thom Merrilin's line in the Season 3 finale, that Lord Gaebril is an imposter, may seem like a throwaway line. But for those who know Elayne's book arc, it's a bombshell. That single revelation hints the show is setting up one of the most politically and emotionally charged plot lines in Elayne's future. Her return to Andor, her battle for the Lion Throne, and the truth about what happened to her mother, Queen Moghedien. The Gaebril revelation. In the Wheel of Time books, Ravin is one of the Forsaken, using the alias Lord Gaebril. He secretly takes control of Andor by seducing and magically manipulating Queen Moghedien, Elayne's mother. Under his influence, Moghedien becomes paranoid, exiles her most loyal advisors, and begins to rule harshly. Eventually, she disappears entirely, leaving Andor without a queen and Elayne without a mother. During this time, Elayne is traveling and training with the Aes Sedai, completely unaware that her home has been overtaken by a Forsaken wearing a false name and face. When she learns the truth, it becomes one of her deepest motivations to return to Caemlyn and reclaim her birthright, even if it means defying the White Tower, enduring civil war, and fighting Forsaken. Claiming the Lion Throne won't be a ceremony. It will be a campaign. She'll need to outmaneuver houses that remember Morgae's downfall and suspect the Tower's motives. Her strongest card will be her growing legend, not as a ruler installed by Aes Sedai, but as a woman who dared to challenge the Forsaken and lived. 2 thrones, 1 queen. Elayne's challenges won't end in Andor, because she doesn't just have a claim to 1 throne. She has 2. Thanks to her father's bloodline, she has a legitimate claim to the Sun Throne of Caerien. She's descended from King Laemon Damodred and Queen Caerwyn, making her not only the daughter of Morghedien, but a Damodred as well. And the people of Caerien remember that. It won't be easy. Caerien is known for its scheming and for Daes Daemar, the great game of political intrigue. But Elayne, raised by Morghedien and mentored by the likes of Varen and Egwene, isn't unfamiliar with political maneuvering. She survived the White Tower, the Seanchan, and even the labyrinthine twists of Aes Sedai logic. She's ready for the game. The Children of the Dragon. In the books, What makes all this even more compelling is her pregnancy. Elayne is carrying Rand's twins, children who are prophesied in their own way to change the world. The Wheel of Time TV show hasn't yet shown any romantic relationship between Elayne and Rand. In fact, as of the Season 3 finale, the two have barely shared meaningful screen time, let alone developed love or intimacy. So the question of how Elayne ends up pregnant with Rand's twins, something confirmed in the books and hinted at in the lore, is still a mystery for show-only viewers. But here's where things get interesting. In the books, Elayne and Rand's relationship is long established. They fall in love in the Dragon Reborn, share tender, and sometimes awkward, moments throughout the Shadow Rising and the Fires of Heaven, and eventually sleep together in Winter's Heart. That's when she becomes pregnant. It's clear, consensual, and deeply emotional. Part of Rand's romantic entanglements with Elayne, Min, and Aviendha. In the show, that arc hasn't even begun. Elayne meets Egwene in the White Tower, works with Nynaeve, and helps fight the Black Ajah in Tanchico. But her path has not yet crossed Rand's in any significant way. They've never spoken, let alone formed a connection. So where does that leave us? There are already signs the showrunners intend to follow the book canon. In the Season 3 finale, Thom Merrilin brings up Elayne's history and her claim to the Lion Throne, connecting her to a storyline that intersects with Rand's. Min's visions are often used in the show to foreshadow the future. If Elayne's pregnancy comes up via one of Min's viewings next season, it could signal that they're accelerating or adapting that arc. It's likely the show will hold off on that romance until Season 4, when Rand and Elayne finally meet, likely in Caemlyn. Hopefully, Amazon has something more up its sleeve, a surprising plot twist, a bold visual style, or a unique storytelling angle that will elevate the film to something more than just another hero origin story. In any case, it's still too early to make any final judgments. We haven't seen a single finished frame, let alone a teaser. Everything out there so far is raw behind-the-scenes material and unconfirmed leaks. So any real opinions will have to wait until we get at least that first official trailer. It's worth highlighting that Masters of the Universe might just be one of the most troubled projects in Hollywood history. It's hard to think of another film that spent this long and went through so many ups and downs just to finally make it to production. It all started way back in 2005, and since then the project has burned through over a dozen directors, gone through countless script rewrites, and bounced from studio to studio. Only next year, nearly 2 decades later, will the movie finally hit theaters. Honestly, it's hard to even imagine how many alternate versions of the script were abandoned along the way. Whole concepts that could have become movies but never made it past development hell. At one point in the mid-2000s, none other than John Woo was attached to direct. Then, in 2009, the rights landed at Sony, and they made a big splash announcing plans for a full-blown trilogy. Back then, the execs even compared their vision to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. They wanted to craft a dark, epic heroic fantasy on a grand scale. The script was pitched as a mature, gritty spin on the classic myth, totally different in tone from what Amazon is making now. The version we're getting will lean more toward a reimagining, a lighter story with bits of self-aware humor and a wink at genre tropes. There'll still be heroic moments, sure, but this clearly isn't aiming for Middle-earth vibes. The closest we ever came to seeing the film completed was with Netflix. Starting in 2020, they held the distribution rights, not just for animated shows, but for a full-on live-action adaptation. And they moved fast. Several animated projects were launched, and in 2022, development officially began on the movie. The script was written by brothers Aaron and Adam Ney. Directing plans were in the works, and Kyle Allen had already been cast as He-Man. Production reportedly burned through about $40 million before the entire thing was scrapped. No official reason was given, but by 2023, Mattel pulled out of the Netflix deal and started hunting for a new partner. Eventually, the project landed at Amazon. The script was rewritten, Nicholas Galitzine was officially cast as He-Man, and the movie essentially became a reboot of what was once a Netflix production. Originally, filming was supposed to kick off in 2024, but after multiple delays, the cameras finally started rolling on January 6th of this year. The shoot took place in London, where most of the principal photography is now reportedly finished. What to expect from the final movie is still anyone's guess. It could turn out to be a fresh, unexpectedly great adaptation that finds its own audience. But let's not forget, this is a high-risk project fueled by Barbie's massive success. Mattel made it clear they want to build out more films based on their classic toy brands. But just because Barbie worked doesn't mean the same formula will work here. Without a sharp script, compelling characters, and a smart approach to adaptation, this movie could easily fall flat. For now, all we can do is wait and hope that the first trailer gives us some real answers.